Good day, ladies and gents, this is Leo from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Roundup, and I'll be rounding up this week's Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, OCG, and Master Duel news. All sources will be linked in the description below. Thank you YGO organization for continuing to report all things Yu-Gi-Oh! And the translators for allowing players to continue to theorycraft new support ahead of the TCG schedule. We appreciate all the work you've done for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. Disclaimer, I will only be covering news in relation to Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, OCG, and Master Duel formats, as we do not have an official TCG Rush Duel format, and all merchandise and anime related news will be omitted from this roundup. These videos are more so about getting people up to speed on the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Physical card game news of the week, so I'll only be highlighting a few key cards from any of the new card reveals. First, I recommend you make your own opinion of the new reveals after reading what the rest of the new revealed cards do. Without further ado, let us begin the news roundup.
Apologies for the no upload for last week. I was trying to get over my tragic regionals run of going 0-6 the past weekend, and didn't really want to touch Yu-Gi-Oh! For a bit. It was that traumatizing. Oh, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out? Absolutely amazing game, y'all should play it. Because of this will be covering last week and this week's Yu-Gi-Oh! News. Also, I sound very mangled as I am very sick this week, so apologies if this video's quality is not up to snuff. Starting last week off, we have the effect of Dandy White Lion, a level 3 Earth Plant effect monster with 300 attack and defense. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn, and during the turn you activate this effect, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can special summon 3 white fluff tokens in defense position. Okay, so it's a powered down Dandelion. Expected. The extra attack restriction is insane, but I'm sure some tribute summon strategies would have something for it. We had 2 updates last week for Master Duel. One update doing a bunch of quality of life changes. An icon indicates if the effect has been used during the turn. Good to scope out your card once per turn. The background on the card info will now show who owns the card, blue being yourself and red being the opponent. You can now double click a card to confirm instead of clicking on the card then clicking confirm. You can now set a very long duel time for room matches which lasts up to 900 seconds. You can now spectate duels from the current state of the duel. You can now specify a team to play against in team battles. You can now scroll between cards on the card menu when you edit your deck, and you can now open up to 100 bonus packs at once. The other update is a big one. We now have a new mission for the World Championship Qualifiers for 2023, where by logging in we get 1 Royal Finish of Blackwing Full Armor Master, 500 gems, 200 gems, 1 Blackwing Full Armor Master icon, 200 gems, and 100 gems. We also have other new missions where if you check missions, you get another duelist icon. Edit your profile card, you get a Swords of Revealing Light. Edit standard regulation deck, you get a duelist card case blue. Change deck accessories, 100 gems, and open dual pass menu, Explorer title. A new structure deck for Black Wings has also come out as well, with cards from Dark Wind Blast being introduced here. Steam the Cloak is also here as it is no longer forbidden on the Master Duel. We also have new sleeves in Godi of the Deep Beyond and Mayhem for Hire. Some new icons for Ice Jade Agurine and Rafale, Champion for Hire. We now also get our new selection pack, Synchronized Cosmos, where we get the new Synchron and Interior cards along with Godi being introduced to Master Duel. It's time to Burning Draw as we finally get our Salamangreat cards for Duelist of Explosions Legendary Duelist set. 2 new main deck monsters, 1 new Link monster, 1 new Synchron monster, 1 Quick Play spell, 1 trap card. Overall, people are a little bit unhappy about the support, but I think there's some merit to some of these cards. I'll highlight the new level 5 Tuner and the Link 4. Starting off with Salamangreat Tiger, which I assume will become Tiger once localized, is a level 5 Fire Cypress Tuner effect monster with 2000 attack and 500 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. You can discard 1 other Salamangreat card, special summon this card from your hand. If this card you control will be used as synchro material for a fire monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. Once per turn, you can increase or decrease this card's level by 1. Alright, not a bad start. It's an extender, and you can pitch any Salamangreat card to special summon it. As a tuner, the fact that it can modulate its level is really good. You can probably try to do a synchro-based Salamangreat strategy with this. I don't know how well that would go, but hey, you could make a Baron with this card. Pretty good start. Now we have Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, a Link 4 Fire Cypress effect monster with 2800 attack, pointing up, down, down left, and down right, requiring 2 or more fire effect monsters. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is link summoned using Salamangreat Raging Phoenix as material, you can add 1 Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand. If a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can target one of them, special summon this card. If you do, it gains attack equal to that monster's. Okay, this is an okay boss monster. You're going to have to use the reincarnation effect on him instead of Sunlight Wolf, but I think there's some merit to it. You can end on the reincarnated Raging Phoenix if you've already pitched Salamangreat World to the grave, have that be reset to the field, then you can add Salamangreat Rage, and that trap becomes a destroy 4 cards on the field, which is honestly not bad. If this card does get destroyed and goes to the grave, it can target itself and bring itself back with a whopping 5600 attack. Again, that stat line is not bad. Mathmatics are honestly just getting out the terahertz with 5500 attack and staring down at everyone. There is some merit to this. It's not the best support, but I wouldn't say it's bad either, and we still have one more main deck monster that needs to be revealed, so maybe that new card might push the new support. If you're in Japan, Coco's Restaurant has a collaboration with Yu-Gi-Oh! Throughout the promotion, there will be different variants of the anime protagonist cards with a different flavor of background to them, along with a brand new card for the OCG and Rush Tools. They're both vanilla monsters, and for the OCG, we get the following: Steam Knight Hamburg, a level 8 Fire Warrior normal monster with 2500 attack and 200 defense. We have the final card for our Battling Boxer in Duelist of Explosions, which is honestly more so a Baryon or 7th Empress card than Battling Boxer. 7th Force, a quick play spell. During the battle phase, if a monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, target one number Xyz monster in your graveyard. Special summon from your extra deck one number C monster with the same type as that monster but one rank higher. If you do, attach that monster in your graveyard to the summoned monster as material. Then, if the summoned monster has number C101 through number C107 in its name, you can add one card from your deck to your hand, either a Baryon spell or trap, a rank up magic quick play spell, or a 7th spell or trap, except 7th Force. Okay, wow, so this is a battle spell where if your number monster dies, you can bring out a chaos number right after. If it's a 101 to 107 chaos numbers, you can even add a new rank up, Baryon, or 7th spell or trap. Not half bad, but weird how this is tied to the battle phase.
New Earthbound support popped up in Animation Chronicles with 3 new effect monsters, 2 new fusion monsters, 2 new synchro monsters, and 2 new spells, 1 field and 1 normal spell. I'll cover the new fusion and the new spell. Earthbound Servant Geogracia is a level 10 Dark Fiend fusion effect monster with 3000 attack and 1800 defense, requiring 1 Earthbound fusion monster and 1 Earthbound synchro monster. Must be fusion summoned. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. At the damage step, if this card battles a monster, change that monster's attack and defense to 0. If an opponent's monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy all cards they control. If this face-up card leaves the field by your opponent, you can special summon 1 Earthbound monster from your deck or extra deck, except for Earthbound Spirit. This is an interesting card. Anytime a card gets destroyed, everything else goes with it, and it floats into another Earthbound monster. Not bad, honestly. The spell card I want to cover is Harmonic Synchro Fusion. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this card, except fusion and synchro monsters. Send 2 face-up monsters you control to the graveyard. Has to be 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. Special summon 1 fusion monster and 1 synchro monster from your extra deck that can be fusion and synchro summoned using only the sent monsters in the graveyard as material. This is such a funky card. Being able to fusion and synchro summon monsters using just the tuner and non-tuner is pretty cool. I can't imagine this card being used in meta, but for a fun card, this is great. The caveat is that you can't bring out synchros and fusions that have the must be fusion summoned or must be synchro summoned clause, but still, fun card, not going to lie.
4 new cards for the Animation Chronicle came out last week, featuring Arcana Force 15, The Fiend, Eye of Illusion, Phoenix Gearblade, and Armored Xyz. Armored Xyz is not the full armored cards we want from the anime, unfortunately, just as a heads up. The card I want to discuss is Phoenix Gearblade, an equipped spell which does the following. Equipped to a warrior or fire monster, you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. The equipped monster gains 300 attack. If the equipped monster attacked at the end of the damage step, you can send this card to the graveyard. Each of your warrior and fire monsters, you can make a second attack during this battle phase. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished to activate a monster effect, you can add this card to the hand. Okay, wow, this is an OTK enabler for any fire or warrior based deck. If a noble's gonna have fun with this again, it really is the year of fire this year, huh? The ability to also re-add this card back if this card was used as discard fodder, for example, Immortal Phoenix Gearfried or Chalamang, is insane. This was clearly made to replace the Divine Phoenix Blade that is banned in the OCG, but TCG I'm sure will be utilizing both of the blades, which is pretty awesome. The Ultimate Kaiba set pre-orders are now open. If you have the money, go crazy on pre-ordering that suitcase. We have new cards for the Pulse of the King structure deck with 1 new effect monster, 1 new trap, and I suppose a normal monster. Everyone's King is a vanilla human type monster with 3000 attack and 2500 defense. Though he was a foolish king that threw away his hometown and friends, his damaged heart was saved by a truly caring heart. The man who was chosen to live according to his destiny will surely one day become a true king that will save the world and be beloved by all, granting happiness to everyone. What a sick throwback card. Stuff like this makes me appreciate some of the structure decks a lot more recently. It's pretty awesome. Some more policy changes, but the big one is the rounds going from 40 minutes to 45 minutes now. I recommend you read the changes yourself, which will be listed in the description below. We will now start this week's news now. Starting the week off strong, we have new Zark support coming in the Age of Overlord set. We have 2 new Pendulum monsters, 1 new Pendulum Fusion monster, 2 new spells, 1 continuous and 1 quick play, and 2 new traps. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea how good this Pendulum support is, so I'm just going to go over the new Pendulum Fusion monster. Supreme Celestial King, Odd-Eyes Arc Ray Dragon, a level 12 Dragon Fusion Pendulum effect monster with 4,000 attack and defense, with a Pendulum scale of 13, requiring 4 Dragon monsters, 1 Fusion, 1 Synchro, 1 Xyz, and 1 Pendulum. Holy moly, the requirements here, man. You can only use the Pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. If you have 2 cards in your Pendulum zone, you can special summon this card. Then you can shuffle 1 card from your Pendulum zone into the deck. Then, if it returns to your extra deck, you can special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. This card is always treated as Supreme King Zark. This face-down card in the extra deck must first be either fusion summoned or special summoned by attributing 1 level 12 Dark Supreme King Zark. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can place 1 Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum zone. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place it in your Pendulum zone. Someone can explain in the comments how good the support is, because I have no idea, but it seems pretty fine. The summoning condition seems pretty easy, since there's ways to bring out the original Zark, like with the trap card that bring him out via paying half your life points, for example. We also got news that Onslaught of the Fire Kings will be the next reloaded structure deck in the OCG. This structure will be coming out on 9th September 2023 in the OCG. We have a new Sky Striker card that will arrive with the second volume of OCG Stories. Sky Striker Ace Camellia, a Link 2 Dark Machine monster with 1500 attack, with arrows pointing up right and down left, needing 2 effect monsters. Must first be Link summoned, you can only special summon Sky Striker Ace Camellia once per turn. Once per turn, if you have 3 or less spells in your graveyard, you can send 1 Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, special summon this card to their field. If you do, send that monster to the graveyard. Also, shift control to this card's owner during the end phase of this turn. This card isn't bad, it's a nice way to dump a spell early in the match. The graveyard effect is interesting because you cannot actually use this during the turn you special summon her, since you can only special summon her once per turn. Interesting move regardless, also very generic. Will be interesting to see what will be done with this new Link monster. Master Duel is now live with the World Championship Qualifiers 2023. We have 5 regions to try grab a spot, up to 8 in total. Japan, North America, and a combination of Europe, Middle East, Oceania, and Africa can have 2 spots, whilst Asia and Latin America can have 1 spot each. The event itself has a bunch of gems available as you climb the duelist levels. Time to get serious and climb. You can now also pick up a Sprite Blue Mate from the store as well. We now have the last Volcanic card, a trap card in Volcanic Emission. You can only activate one of the 2 effects. Take 1 Volcanic monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, but return it to the hand during the end phase. Or target 1 Pyro monster on the field, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. If you control the target at activation, the damage inflicted by this effect is halved. A slow searcher or special summon, but that's not too bad. You can special summon the Volcanic Emperor so that the opponent can take double special to summon burn damage. Then once it comes back to your hand, you can special summon it again for more burn. The other burn effect seems like it's meant to be used with Volcanic Queen. Since it's a kaiju, a burn for 2500 isn't too bad. Not a bad final card for Volcanics. Next month's V-Jump promo is Super Future Polymerization over Future Fusion. Looks like a combination of Super Poly and Future Fusion. Curious to see what they will do with this. Last bit of news, we got confirmation of the effect for Junk Mail, a level 1 Earth Warrior Tuner effect monster with 400 attack and 100 defense. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. A single monster that used this card as material cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is in your graveyard and you control a Synchro monster whose original name includes Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust, except during the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. This is okay, it's a decent extender past turn 2 to Synchro climb further if you are still alive past turn 2. The destruction protection from during battle is kinda but it's whatever. The second effect isn't too bad.
And that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching or listening to this video. I appreciate that you reached the end of this video. If you like these quick news roundup, please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want more of this, and I will speak with you all in the next roundup.